in any event, this is a personal journey uh, that I'm undertaking, that we all undertake in the course of living our lives as human beings, going through our stages, as this world is all a stage for all the stages of life. And so I'm going to uh, read an essay um, about Nietzschean concept of God. We have lived now a century or so of circling the sun since an idea surfaced to stay affixed in the public mind, an idea so profound that it continues to shake our modern culture to the core of its relationship with its own worth, its own value for life and living. An idea, a concept that has become the beginning and the end for civilized society, a concept, a judgment, a rule by which we measure ourselves. This idea, fundamental to the Judeo-Christian belief system, this idea which has so inflamed passion into action, a sort of manifest destiny which has left an all too lingering blood trail of lust and greed, power in essence, the power to dominate here and in the insidiousness of the afterlife which this sort of ideation creates, this way of thinking, this certain perspective which produces the concept God, has turned on itself. As a culture, a society, a civilization of people, we have reached a point of reflection upon the purpose, the intent of our collected existence. Modern life, with its apparent ease of living, has produced a result here at the turn of the century that allows itself to reflect upon itself. This idea of God, a creator God, who backs us as a culture, as individuals, a God in whose image we were created, a God who loves us, yet must hate us as well, a God who has created both a heaven for believers and a hell for the rest of us, a God who sacrificed his only Son in order to scare the bejesus out of us, to give us faith, to give us something to believe. This God has turned tail and reached around and bit himself right on his concept. God is dead, or rather our idea, our concept, our human projection and displacement, our regression and aggression and longing and our overcoming, these factors which in part make up our relationship with God, these ideas, the idea of God and his truthfulness, as are being questioned in honest abandon by those very subjects to which he dominated his will. It's much like declaring the King of England no longer in charge, in power over one's comings and goings, even over one's personal thoughts and feelings. We shucked that yoke before, and it must happen again. If the human mind can grow beyond its previous limitations, which has grown out of a burned out virtue, a truth now questioned in all intellectual integrity and all scrutiny and honesty by those of us who are brave enough to take on the concept God. The argument is not even with the idea of God, but rather concerns the specific relationship of the biblical God with the human race. After all, who can really say for certain, for sure, forever, what God is or isn't? The truth is, we make it up in the first instance, in the first place. These ideas, these concepts, come from the minds of humans. You say they must be influenced then by God. No, I say God must be influenced by us, you and me, and what we collectively and individually think about God at all. It comes from us. God is our human projection of our needs, our desires, our hopes, our fears, our humanness. He is our security, our protector, our judge, our executioner, our superego, our guilt-laden psyches, our collective unconscious, our own brand of good and evil. God is all of this and more. He is the past, present, and dare I say it, our future. It is time of reinvention, of revaluation, of recreation of our personal and collective relationship with mankind's concept, God. The first step is examination, attended by the rigors of honesty and innocence that is capable of presuming God is a concept. No apology is needed nor necessary now. We've come clean. Some of us, at least, can breathe a sigh of relief, knowing God as a human need, projected upon our own selves, our own psyche, our own personal and collective psyche, our own good and evil, our own table of values utilized for the promulgation of the species. To try and convince those who cannot fathom the idea that God is subjective to human beingness and now has become deified in our own minds and manifests throughout the culture as if God were real, as if God, the God of our imagination, certainly and securely existed, as if there can be no other way, well, you can see what one is up against if he is sincerely or provocatively into talking up a storm concerning the veracity of our most sacred and thus taboo arenas of human endeavors, our creation of values, our self-worth, and this existence's worth.